In the 6 months since my last briefing, we have witnessed an unprecedented series of crises in parts of the Middle East and parts of North and Sub-Saharan Africa. I'm concerned at the violence levelled against civilians in Bahrain, Yemen, and more recently, Syria, and at the loss of life and other human rights violations. The recent report of the Secretary-General's panel of experts on accountability in Sri Lanka found that some 40,000 civilians may have died in the final stages of the conflict, and that credible allegations exist of human rights and humanitarian law violations by both parties to the conflict. Some of these violations may amount to war crimes and crimes against humanity. International law requires that these allegations be properly investigated.
Le département des opérations de maintien de la paix rappelle continuellement que les mandats du Conseil de sécurité et de protection des civils ne remplacent pas les responsabilités souveraines. La protection des civils est et restera toujours la responsabilité première du gouvernement hôte.
The dramatic unfolding of events in the Middle East, North Africa and Côte d'Ivoire have clearly illustrated that denial of human rights, including civil, cultural, economic, political and social rights, is a root cause of discord, unrest, violence and ultimately armed conflict. Protecting human rights prevents conflicts, and accountability for violations of human rights breaks the cycle of violence.
Canada, Chile, Croatia.
In Syria, we must prevent the ongoing violent suppression of mass protests from plunging the country into a full-fledged armed conflict. At the request of the Human Rights Council, our office is preparing to dispatch a mission to Syria to investigate alleged violations of international human rights law. A preliminary report will be provided to the Human Rights Council in June and full findings in September.
The United Arab Emirates.
During almost 3 decades of combating terrorism in our country, we took utmost care to draw a clear distinction between civilians and terrorists. Those who are intent on dismissing this effort will continue to do so, but successive governments had ensured a continuous supply of essential goods and services, such as food, free health services, and education to the civilians in the north and the east of Sri Lanka over the 27 years of the conflict, despite the control that the terrorists had over them.
Thank you very much, President, distinguished council members.